A dog that's staying with me woke up at 6 in the morning. Now it's 9 o'clock. I'm dead. And I lost all my motivation to have a new dog. Good night. Morning. Less grumpy today. Still woke up at 6 in the morning, which reminds me that my body adapts to things. I'm gonna start my routine and then we can do our exploration. This is the most important part of the whole exploration because I want to make sure that I'm giving a good life to this dog, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to get too overwhelmed. It's not about the dog fitting into my life, but also I want to make sure that I don't do the same thing as I did before, where I had to fit completely into my dog's life. So the question that I asked myself, and I was very scared of my honest answer, was, do I have the time for a dog? And I feel like everyone goes through this. And it's the most difficult one to pinpoint as well. And I know that my instant answer was no, I don't. Because I have too many projects running at the same time. I train trainers. I have new projects in Brazil. I'm doing 2 certifications at the same time. But also, after I started thinking a little bit more, I thought, no, but wait, my level of work is very crazy at the moment, and I don't want to do so much work. I want to bring it down. I want to commit with slowing down my life and having more time for myself, and hopefully more time for a puppy as well. And it was really interesting to think about this because now I have a more clear deadline. So I know that around November and December, loads of projects, they start slowing down. And I also know that after that, I can choose how much time I give to certain things and when I apply to certain things. And hopefully this could be something that could be starting. At that point, I feel like I will have to do loads of adjustments, and I'm already thinking about how I'm going to do that. We're going to talk about this later on in another episode. I cannot have a puppy now. That's very clear to me now. But in a few months or in a year, probably I can find a time and I can make space for this puppy in my life. And I feel like most of the cases that puppies don't go right in a house is because we don't think about this. We end up overwhelmed because we have to do so many things with a puppy, and this is why it's so important for us to plan ahead and make the space if you're really committed with having a dog. I reflected a lot about, can I adapt my lifestyle to this animal? And this goes into several areas. So I'm thinking day to day and working days. I work from home, so it's quite easy for me to, let's say, stay with the animal, not have to be long hours away from home, make my life really easy. And when I do get out, I have a partner that stays home and works from home all the time as well. So maybe I can just organize times of the day to make sure that the dog is only left for 2 to 4 hours. So I can actually train separation in case the dog needs to be adapted. Most of them have to, so I'm already counting with that. Also, I'm thinking, what kind of lifestyle would I like to have in the weekends with the dog? So at the moment, what I normally like to do is I like to go for long walks. I love going to theatre and maybe going to the pub, going to the cinema. So there is areas that of my life that my dog wouldn't fit, and this would also have to be for, because maybe I would have to get a pet sitter at certain times, or I would have to organize myself to come back home every certain amount of time. But it's important for me to realize that I actually would like a dog to accompany me in certain situations. So like going to the pub or maybe having a long walk together. And in the beginning, it might not be that I'm able to do that if I have a puppy, for example. So those are things that I need to consider. And I also live in the middle of London, in a very central area. So I need to be worried about aggression and how friendly this animal is as well. Because otherwise, I'm going to make the dog's life a nightmare. Another thing that I thought about is that to bring a puppy home, if I go for a puppy, will require a lot of time. Because I'm self-employed, I probably can make this time. I can just maybe have a few months that I work half-time to really adapt the animal, or maybe I can just have a little bit of a holiday. Probably this wouldn't be my first choice because I feel like otherwise we obsess a bit too much. But having something that keep me going, like work that I really love, alongside that having a fun project that would be having a puppy, for example, or having a rescue that I need to adapt to the house, I think it would be really fun, because then I can have loads of time and work on times of the day that the dog wouldn't need me. By the way, we have a course that talks about schedules and how much time the puppies need and how much work it is and how to bring a rescue or a puppy home. It's really, really cool, and it helps you so much with those steps. So this is why it's so helpful for me as well, because I already know those things. So it's easy for me to think them through. And then obviously in this lifestyle idea, we have the travelings as well, right? And if I'm trying to commit with getting a dog and thinking about training and thinking about all the things that I need to do to adapt this animal at home, if I travel in the next 3 months, I believe that I wouldn't do such a good job. I'm not saying you cannot adopt a dog and travel within 3 months. I'm just saying that it wouldn't be my choice. So I have a few traveling commitments, especially like long ones. I'm going to Brazil in a few months. So I am planning myself to maybe get a dog after that. I don't want to put this responsibility in someone else of doing the socialization, of taking care of very important things. I want to make sure that I am on top of them and that I really build a beautiful relationship with the dog that I get. So I will make this choice of not having big trips that are more than 4 days for 3 months when I get a dog. And now I'm going to open for you something that's quite personal. It's my personal experience when I had a dog in the UK in a city. I had dogs in the past alone. I had dogs in the past as a couple, and I had dogs in the past as a family. I had many dogs in my life. As a family, it's really easy. You always have someone at home, kind of. If I traveled, or if I just needed a break, if I couldn't do something specifically, or even money-wise, it was much easier as well, because you split between more people. In that sense, I had much more of a network of help. As a couple as well, it's really helpful. It's less people, and normally you travel together, so you still need a bigger network than that, and then we go to sitters and walkers. But as a one person, it was really hard. So when I got my first dog as an adult, I had this dog by myself. God, it was difficult, because I would leave the house and I had to go to work, and I told you guys a little bit about my experience. But it was so hard to meet the dog's needs, because I had to do so many things for myself and for my work. And then having that on top, it was really, really hard. But then when you look at having as a couple, which it would be my situation at the moment, it's a little bit more comfortable. We had this conversation, me and my partner, about, okay, are you going to help me with this? Is it going to be something that you want to do? And we decided to do it together. And we decided that from now until the moment that we are going to adopt a dog, we're going to decide together. And if anyone decides to drop, they can drop. They can go, no, I'm not ready. And then no questions asked. We're just going to drop the idea, and we're going to give more time and then rethink if that makes sense. It's important that we're doing this as a group, because I feel like last time, even though we had Marvin as a couple, I really wanted a dog. He was not ready, Jesse, and I was not ready for sure. I didn't know that, but it ended up being loads of things we haven't thought about. Then we had to kind of work it out as a couple, and loads of things relied on me, especially training, because he was like, well, you're the specialist, but actually I would like this to be shared as well. So we talked about all those things, and now we have a much more clear plan and much more clear expectations of what we can rely on each other for what. And do I have networking to support me? I kind of do. I have professionals that I know that could help me with this quest. But I still feel like I needed more people involved to really feel confident. And this is a shout out to all my friends. Please help me out with this. I'm going to feel so much more confident if I have people that go, I can take your dog. Yeah, just get one. Because obviously in the beginning, we're just so worried about how things are going to be, right? And I'm not sure if my dog going to be super well behaved. I hope so. But If they are, I think there is bigger chances of friends and family going, yes, okay, bring it over and you can go to a holiday and leave your dog here. For me, what I wanted to pass it on today is that it's so clear to me that at the moment I cannot have a dog, unfortunately. But I think I can work towards having a nice routine and having a nice situation that I could fit a dog into my life. Because I think until April, I'm going to be able to finish all the things that I need to finish and open much more space in my life. Probably going to aim for summer next year. Being able to have the possibility of doing it a little bit before that as well. It's just a very broad kind of overview. And it's just so good to realize that this might be possible. This might be possible. So our next episode is going to be about the financial breakdown to really understand if it makes sense to have a dog. And I'm going to look into all the things that we need to use regularly or pay regularly for a dog. And I'm really curious to know how expensive is a dog in London. I hope you guys liked being a little bit inside my brain. And if you did, follow the channel and give us a like button, and I see you very soon.